I'm pleased to say we're joined by one of the debutantes in this year's World Matchplay, Cameron Menzies. Thanks for the time again, Cameron. How are you doing?
I'm all good, mate. Thanks yourself.
Doing well, thank you. And we are talking just a few days before you make your debut at the World Matchplay, one of the biggest tournaments on the calendar. What's the feeling like right now ahead of that first game on Saturday night? Is it nerves, excitement, a mix of both?
I'll say a bit of both. I'm not too nervous at the moment. I don't usually get nervous till about when you walk to the venue and stuff, kind of thing. That's when I'll kick in. So I'm going down a day earlier. So no matter what, I'm staying for the weekend. Because I'm taking my mum and dad's going down with me and my daughter as well. So we family affair for the first time because obviously Blackpool's always been one that, especially when Scottish, we always go to Blackpool and stuff. So it's been one that I've always wanted to qualify for. So that's something I can put off the checklist.
Definitely, no, it should be a good weekend. And the last time we had you on the show, we were just talking about it off air, was just before another big debut for you at the World Grand Prix back in October. And you said to us that you had to work a half day earlier in the day
Yeah.
before you played. But this time round, obviously, you're going to be going there fully focused on the darts because you've quit your job as a plumber recently. How different has the build up been to events nowadays, knowing that you haven't got a fit working around it?
Well, the form's going to drop since, but I knew that was going to happen just with the little change of mindset. But I'm playing okay. But yeah, it's been good to get some more hours in and stuff, kind of thing, because it's been hard with the travel, with the darts and that. So a lot of times I was doing the traveling and then having to do like a day's work, and then that day I was knackered, so there's no way I'm practicing, and then I was like, getting the case ready and traveling, or I was working half a shift before it. But no, it's just all. I'll get a couple of hours maybe tonight, a couple of hours tomorrow before I go and pick up my daughter, and then maybe a wee hour before I go to Blackpool on Friday because I don't know if there's any pubs that'll be safe to go in for a throw kind of thing. So I'll try and get practice before I go because it only takes us like 3 hours to get to Blackpool from where I'm from, Scotland. So that's bugger all basically.
Excellent. And your profile on Twitter now says used to wing it as a plumber, now winging it as a darter. I know you were toying with the idea of reducing your hours at work the last time we spoke. So what prompted you to take that plunge and go full time in the darts now?
I actually got reduced hours and I was just never there. It just got to the point where I either took the plunge and quit or I was going to get sacked. Nah, the one that got to sack me, I felt bad because they were great for me. We still keep contact with them, right? Because obviously like the supervisors and there's a lot of guys that I work with and that I became really close friends with. But I felt like I was getting annoyed at myself because I couldn't really do any work. They were supportive of me with all my darts. I wasn't missing much darts, but I was missing work. So I was travelling because of it. It's all that European tours are Thursday to Monday, depending how you play, and a lot of darts are during the week. So I was only working Monday to Friday. So before I quit, the last but I think 6 weeks, I worked at one day. Kind of thing. I got my wage through that day. It was like I get paid monthly and I got a wage through it. I was like, well, that waste of time that was because I only worked one day. But it was just because it was so busy, and I just was like, I feel like I'm fine for these 2 years. If it doesn't go to plan and whatever it is, it's quite a good trade that I could go back to it.
Definitely. Well, a few weeks after the World Grand Prix, you did win your first senior title in the PDC in the Players' Championships, and you tweeted "Fat Boy did a thing." How much did that win mean to you to join that roll of honour of PDC title winners?
Yeah, it's something you can obviously say that you've done because there's not many guys, especially nowadays. You don't really see a lot of maybe outside winners. Like you do get random, like not random ones, but guys that have been about longer than me have not won one. Obviously, we Bradley Brooks here won one at the week last week, sorry, which is well deserved. But usually, it's most of the time it's the same kind of players that win it because it's such a hard field, and especially if you're not seeded at the time. I'm sure I think I was seeded at the time, but especially if you're unseeded, it's hard to obviously win it. So hard anyway because the standard of that players these days, even from challenge to it upwards. So to do it over the full day was something that I've always struggled to do. So to win one, as you can see by the emotion at the end, it was just something that I obviously wanted to do, and it's obviously been my biggest win kind of thing, obviously of a title to date. So hopefully I've won more since, but hopefully I can win a lot more.
Well, talking of emotions, let's get to what was an eventful week at the Grand Slam in Wolverhampton a few weeks
Mm-hmm.
after that. Firstly, the group stages. You lose your last game to Bo Greaves. Did you have any hope that you could still qualify through the
No,
groups?
no, I was on my way home in the huff. Honestly, I got my phone off. I was home. I was sitting in the car. I was just punching myself. I deservedly get beat. Bo absolutely battered me. I'm not saying that, but that was like the worst defeat. Like that. Oh, sorry, the second worst defeat I could have had. It could be 5-0 or 5-1. I was like, just if you just make it as tight as possible. Didn't play great, but she was obviously firing all cylinders, and she gave me a lesson. Um, so yeah, I was gutted because after especially won the first game, I thought I'm in a great position now, and then I think it was close to dying up. So I was thinking, just like it's like you just win, obviously you're through, but it's the pressure and that kind of thing is hard. You're just trying to fight for every leg eventually, and then just to go with one, it was quite disappointing. But then the weird thing of the Grand Slam is I'm going home raging and stuff. I was so gutted with myself, and then you get the phone call to say you're through. I couldn't believe it at first. So it's like the emotions change from being raging, no want to talk to people to be like, okay, this is actually not bad now. So that was a weird set of emotions because the lows and highs within 20 minutes. Well, maybe after I left anyway, because I was still actually in Wolverhampton, but it was like the outskirts, heading home in the half.
Well,
So yeah, it was weird.
well, you were turning the car around. You qualify with one win in the group stages. You're into the last 16, and what a game that was with James Wade coming through that one 10-9 in a last leg
Mm.
decider. You're into your first major quarter final in the PDC. How much did that win against James on its own mean to you as well?
I've always said I feel like something I do struggle with is playing well on the stage. I think that's maybe the inexperience of these events and maybe wanting things too much. But yeah, it was to win. Maybe not the greatest of standards, but it was like a real graft and battle. And I feel like James Wade's one of the, well, my opinion, the best player ever. For those grafting wins, like he might not hit 105 averages, but he can win a lot of games with 94s and 95 averages because he's finishing and stuff. And to come through the other side of that was, yeah, especially when I thought he was going to take the finish out at the end, just hoping for that wee chance to get three darts at it. Just kind of wait, just don't want your game shot for a bit. But yeah, as you can see, it was obviously the best I've done in the tours, a major. But yeah, it was something I could say that I've got to the quarterfinals of the Grand Slam. It's not great, but for me it is.
No, it's definitely another milestone for you. And that quarter final on the Friday night with Mickey Mansell, that goes all the way as well. You edged out 16-15, and it was a big game for the both of you to get through to that
Yeah.
semi final. How did you get over that defeat and just coming up short on making that final day at the Grand Slam?
I think that was more the two of us weren't great that game. I think the twos knew that was a game that was winnable, and I felt like you could see with the last leg it was not a great last leg of twos. I just remember begging, like that's maybe the confidence thing. I was kind of hoping darts were going in, like please go in, rather than I'm hitting a 140 here kind of thing. That's maybe the belief a little bit, but I was that a lot. It wasn't as gutted as that much as it was the Grand Slam group stage kind of thing. That one I was upset. I'm always upset when you get beat. I don't think I kind of show that I'm happy and stuff, but I'm still gutted in my own way. But yeah, I kind of spoke to Mickey and that after his TV and that. So Mickey's a good guy and that. But I just remember being in front and stuff. But it's a long duration. It's a long game. I think it's the longest I've ever played in my life in one sitting. But I was gutted, but it's still an experience and something that it's obviously, as I say, it's a milestone, and hopefully I can go further in something.
Definitely. Well, last one on 2024, and we'll get on to this year. I know it was a tough end to the year with the World
Mm.
Championship, obviously going out early, but also your dad having an operation at the time as well. We could see how emotional you were during that game. Was that the hardest game you've ever had to play?
Yeah, if it wasn't for the prize money, I wouldn't have played. As even I said that to the manager, as if it was a pro tour, I wouldn't have been there. It's just it came at the wrong time, and I just tried to play through it because I wasn't well at the same time. A chest infection as well, and obviously these excuses and stuff, and I could beat fair and square. But yeah, I wasn't really in the greatest of place, so I tried to fight through it and get a win. Like trying, I was hoping my B game would be enough, but I didn't even find a B game. I just remember getting battered the first leg, first set, and then just feeling like obviously in my own head a little bit and just fighting my own demons and stuff. And I lost, as you can see.
Well, let's
So,
get on to this year though, because we have seen you have some great runs on the Pro Tour. You've had a couple of finals, two quarterfinals on the Euro Tour, I think another semi-final on the floor, but then that second title in the Players' Championships comes. You beat Peter Wright with a 107 average in the final, and that other semi-final, it was Peter against Gary Anderson, so you were guaranteed to play a Scottish world champion in the final. What did it mean to beat one of them in a final?
Yeah, it's obviously beat anybody in a final, but I think Peter Wright and me have usually had some very good games. Like they've went to the wire, and or some person's played out their skin. So there's an utmost respect to with Peter. But obviously, like he's spoke to me a few times. When I first played at the Grand Slam, he came up and spoke to us and stuff because he played up in Scotland with my dad a long time ago. So it's like kind of stuff like that. But yeah, to beat Peter Wright obviously in the finals is always a good thing. But yes, I played well that day, and I played well in the final, and it was good to get the second one just to prove the first one wasn't luck.
Definitely. Well, we do have to mention the infamous miscount on the Euro Tour as well against Mike De Decker. Just talk to us about that moment because miscounting on the final leg and then managing to rescue the situation and win the leg in the end.
Yeah, just really nervous and stuff, and I think I was the second time ever I'd get to the last eight kind of thing in a European tour. The first time I'd done it, I was in a tour card holder, so I wanted to win the game so much, and it went to the nitty gritty, and I just all I remember was like leave yourself double four. And I think I went for a 10 or a 6. I threw for the middle. And I'm sure I went, well, I actually can't remember. What did I go for? Oh, it was 6 and I went for double four or something. I had double six left, wasn't it, or something?
Think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I went for, I should have gone for a 10 for double four. I kind of just went for the both of them, like just don't miss it. Like the wire between the two of them, so I'd hit one of them. And then I just had double four in my head, and oh yeah, as you can see, it was not a proud moment. So yeah, I've like I fell on the floor since because it's something I don't like doing. I don't mean to do it. It's just like this relief of obviously adrenaline and nerves. But yeah, I get kind of I got a few memes on that one, which is fair enough. I think you've seen some of my pictures on social media. I've tried to get the funny side of it because the social media is not the greatest sometimes. But yeah, I could take the funny side within reason.
Definitely. Well, looking further beyond that, obviously you're on the cusp of the top 32 now. We've got the World Matchplay coming up this weekend, and you're going to be the first player from Scotland to make their debut since John Henderson in 2011. So it's been a while since we've seen a new player from Scotland at the Winter Gardens. Who do you think are going to be the next Scottish players to get to the match play, or some younger players that we should keep an eye on?
Well, there's a lot of good young players coming out in Scotland at the moment. But I think Owen Bryceland's one of them, quite young. But I think the main one is Mitchell Laurie. He is. I've got him on Facebook. I've got his family on Facebook, and some of the averages he's hitting at his age. I don't know what his age is. He's tall. He's about 6'1". I think he's bigger than me, or the same height as me, and he's only about 12 or 13. But some of his averages are kind of class. He keeps doing what he's doing, and obviously you never know because the way the youth system is these days, like a lot of times folk would play youth darts and then get turned 18, go away from darts kind of thing, which is normal back then. Even for me, I was lucky enough I had a youth system, but not the way it is now. So if a lot of youth players are coming through, they'll stick on the right track, and I think you'll get a lot more Scottish players. You'll get a lot more different players from all over. Not just usually English and like your Dutch usually, but yeah, but Mitchell Laurie's definitely one that I would say I've been really impressed with. Kind of thing. He's got a nice throw, he's got a nice temperament, loves his darts, and he's playing darts all the time, which is obviously a good thing because when I was younger, I was more into football.
Well, we'll keep an eye on him. And one young player who's not Scottish but German that you played on the Euro Tour at the weekend, we have to give him a shout out. 18-year-old Yorick Hofkins, who
Mm.
pushed you all the way in the first round.
Well,
That was his big stage debut on Friday. And afterwards, you were quite complimentary about him as well. You were impressed with him.
well, it's like a nice, very steady throw, like a throw that was quite straight, like not much goes wrong with him. Even in the practice room, he was banging the trebles and stuff, smashed me in the bull. Kind of just, it was easy for him. And anyway, I was hoping, obviously, but I know he's obviously got the crowd on him, but I think it was quite lucky it was at the afternoon. So if it was more of the evening session, it would be a lot more rowdy in there. But he just was so steady, and he just kept getting in front of me and in front of me, and I got it back, and then he was just so consistent, and he was clinical in the finishings, and I felt I think what helped me, I started playing well, but I felt like he maybe seen the finish line a little bit, and he didn't score as great near the end when he went 5-3 up. He still played well, but you can maybe see him, like especially the last leg, it's his throw. Like he kicked off a couple of bad scores or something like that, and I felt like that's just maybe. I see maybe see an experience, but we all do. They get the last leg decider. They sometimes go, sometimes a bit of adrenaline. You throw a little high or you snatch it. That's just darts for you. But yeah, I say to him at the time, I was like, "You're a great player, 18-year-old mate. You keep on doing what you're doing, then you could be the next German superstar." Because he's got all the attributes to be that way. Because he enjoyed it, he didn't look nervous, and he was. Obviously, I had to play really well to beat him. So he is definitely a good player.
Yeah, he's one to watch as well. And getting back to you, looking further ahead, obviously there's not many tournaments left for you to make your debut in now, but I'm sure one that's high on the list is going to be the PDC World Cup. Have you got half an eye on that for next year, trying to jump above Peter Wright in the rankings?
I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, mate. I also had a few messages because Scotland didn't do great this year, but it happens. You've got two guys that have won it. I think I might be wrong. I'm sure Peter's won it twice, but I don't know if Gary's only won it once because I think
Yeah,
Peter won it with John.
yeah,
But so Scotland's won the World Cup three times, and these guys have been in. Well, one of them's been part of it all the time. Plus, arguably the two best Scottish players ever. So yeah, if I get in it, fine. I'll be a proud moment for myself. But it's safe to me that these two guys are still playing good darts. They're still doing enough to be where they are, and I feel that the two of them will still get um, a few more years in them yet. So I would need to do it on my own merit, kind of
yeah.
thing, because I feel like they'll never drop really low unless they basically give it up. I feel like they still play good standard and stuff. Like Peter Wright is maybe not playing as good as what he can, but there's still glimpses of moments. He's still there. He's still playing good darts, and you've seen the weekend there. Gary's still flying,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So yeah, I would love to get in it, but I will need to climb a lot more high in the rankings. Because I don't think they'll drop. I'll be surprised if they drop out the 32 anytime soon, unless, as I say, they take the foot off the gas and just do enough to make like the worlds and stuff. Because time catches up in us all.
Definitely. Well, away from yourself, next week we have got another event, the Women's World Matchplay. Your partner Fallon Sherrock's going to be in action, and she did hint recently at taking a break from darts next year for health reasons. I'm sure whatever decision she makes, you're going to be fully behind her, though, because obviously it'd be a shame for us not to see her play, but health has got to come first.
Yeah, it's been something that's been in the back burner for a while now, and it's just got to the point where she had to take time out to get it properly looked at and fixed. But yeah, she'll obviously come back from that. I'm sure a lot fitter because it's her thing, so I don't really like to explain to it. She'll obviously come out and say what it all is and stuff. But aye, so once it's all done and stuff, she'll be a lot better for it. But she's still playing good darts and whatnot as it is. But I think the women's series has been quite quiet recently, so she's been on the score quite a lot recently to try and get some practice in because there's not been much on for her. But she says she's only doing it on little spells because she gets tagged quite a bit. But yeah, the women's one's good as well. There's some good players in that, and I'll be keeping an eye on it because it's only first. I think it's first to four on it.
Yeah, in the
So
first round, yeah.
yeah, best of seven. I think it wasn't last year. I don't think. I think it was the year before. Lisa beat Fallon. So aye, so it's cutthroat kind of thing. First to four, you're 2-0 down. You start panicking a little bit. So yeah, it is cutthroat up there, and it's still good. It's good atmosphere when I've been there. It's a good turnout, and it's obviously a good thing for the ladies' game.
Yes, it's always a good watch. And we'll finish up with a couple of questions that have been sent in from our listeners. The first one comes from George Dobson, who says, Cammy, please can you beat Danny Noppert in round one so me and five of my mates can go Menzies mental on Tuesday night in Blackpool?
I'll try my best, honest. I'll be trying my heart
And the last one comes from Aaron Tubian, who says, if you could play Fallon in any tournament, which one would it be?
out. Arm wrestling, does that count? um, I don't have any like to play on anyone to be honest. And I was going to say double start, but that's me lying because that would the one she'll be favourite at because she's a better double than me. Um, Set play, no. I think it would need to be like match player who's going to do it over the longer, like the legs kind of thing. I think set play, that's a different way of playing because you just need to be good in your throw and stuff. Because yeah, set plays is different. So I would say the match play lately.
Well, before you play Fallon in the match play, you are going to be making your debut this weekend. Cameron, it's always great to get you on the show. Appreciate the time and wish you all the best, not just for this weekend, but what else is to come in 2025 as well.
Well, thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Thanks very much.